Thanks for joining us for CBN News Midday. I'm Mark Martin.
And I'm Heather Sells. Today marks the 25th anniversary of Martin Luther King Day. As the nation celebrates the legacy of the slain civil rights leader, the tragic events in Tucson remain the focus. Here's Charlene Israel.
On Sunday at Atlanta's historic Ebenezer Baptist Church, U.S. Attorney General Eric Holder remembered King as a man of peace, a stark contrast to the tragedy in Tucson.
Last week, a senseless rampage in Tucson, Arizona, reminded us that more than 40 years after Dr. King's own tragic death, our long struggle to end suffering, to eradicate violence, and to promote peace, that struggle goes on.
In Florida, lawmakers joined church leaders and others from the community by attending an inspirational breakfast in honor of King.
In a society where our rhetoric has gotten so shrill and we don't talk to each other in the political public square, but talk through each other, we've got to step back, remember what Dr. King taught.
It's respect for one another. That's what it comes down to.
Houston youth were on display to celebrate King's birthday in their city. Thousands honored Dr. King's legacy for the 5th annual Martin Luther King Jr. Youth Parade. King would have been 82 on January 15th. He is the only American who is not a U.S. president to have a federal holiday named in his honor. Charlene Israel, CBN News.
The new Congress takes office this week. One of its top priorities is dealing with federal spending. The American people have spoken clearly. They want Washington to cut spending, not raise taxes. Eric Stakelbeck has the story from Washington.
The new Republican Congress swept into power in November, promising to get runaway spending and deficits under control. Now they're about to tackle their first major challenge in accomplishing that goal. The government's debt now stands at an all-time high of over $14 trillion. And Congress will soon face its first major debate on spending, whether or not to raise the debt ceiling and let Washington borrow more money to keep operating, or try to cut spending. Raising the debt ceiling is a move that's fiercely opposed by Tea Party activists and small government conservatives, including one likely Republican presidential candidate.
As to the federal government, they should not raise the debt ceiling. I believe they should pass legislation, allow them to sequence the spending as the revenues come in to make sure they don't default, and then have the debate about what other spending can be reduced.
A new CBS News poll shows that Americans overwhelmingly prefer cutting spending to raising taxes as a way to reduce the annual federal deficit. 77% want spending cuts, only 9% want taxes raised, and another 9% want to do both. The debate over the issue on Capitol Hill promises to be fierce. In the end, most observers think Congress will raise the debt ceiling, but only after serious promises are made to cut spending in the months and years ahead. And the public, especially the Tea Party, will be watching to see how serious the new Congress really is about breaking Washington's addiction to spending taxpayer money. Eric Stakelbeck, CBN News, Washington.
The Republican Party has a new chairman to help it stay on message and strike the right tone at the same time. Wisconsin's Reince Priebus defeated Michael Steele this weekend for the top post. His immediate assignment, dig the party out of a $20 million hole, prepare to take on Barack Obama in 2012, and unite the party as it faces an identity crisis exposed by the Tea Party.
We must never forget why we all do this. Because as Reagan said, our nation is that shining city upon a hill, and we must work to keep it that way.
Priebus is a former top lieutenant to Steele. He is promising to restructure the party to put it on solid financial grounds.
In the wake of the Tucson rampage, some politicians are calling for stricter gun control laws. Guns are ingrained in America's history, however, especially in Arizona, which was once home to the Wild Wild West. Chuck Holton is in Tombstone, Arizona, with the story.
Saloons, stagecoaches, and shootouts all play an important part in Arizona's long history. And that's why even today you'll find the ethos of the Wild West permeates their culture. But if you talk to Arizonans, you'll find that they have very strong opinions about one thing in particular: gun control. The mass shooting of 18 people at a Tucson Safeway is raising difficult questions across the state as pundits and politicians call for new gun control measures. But 45 minutes south of that city is the historic town of Tombstone, scene of another famous shooting 130 years ago at the OK Corral. Today, Tombstone is a tourist attraction where gunfights are reenacted every day. But recently, the actors rewrote the script here to help people understand that in circumstances like these, nobody comes out a winner. Stephen Keith is Tombstone's Doc Holliday.
What we do is make them real people with lives and girlfriends, and we show how quickly and abruptly that ended. You walk out of our show, you walk past the crime scene, the dead guys stay dead, they don't get up and walk away. You don't walk out there with a happy feeling and want to go play with Daddy's gun.
And despite the daily reminder of the seriousness of gun crime, Keith doesn't conclude that guns are the problem.
We have lots of guns in Arizona. Just about everyone has guns here. We don't have the kind of gun violence you have in a place like Washington, D.C. Now, down south in Mexico, you can't have a gun. And on the border, there's all kinds of gun violence going on right now.
Fellow reenactor Ken Barrett agrees. He's the former marshal of Tombstone and also has a Ph.D. in psychology.
Had he not had a gun, he could have gone to a home and garden store and gotten a machete. He could have used his vehicle and killed 40 people, running them down in the parking lot. So to say that this event has anything to do with guns or gun laws is just that happened to be the instrumentality that he chose.
But what about people who don't have gunfights for a living?
I went out and bought more ammunition, and I bought another handgun.
Shirley Reckward is a retired nurse and grandmother of 5.
Existing laws didn't stop that young man, and putting more laws on the books is not going to affect anybody who has a real desire to kill people. Arizona's history tells us that we take responsibility for ourselves. Personally, I cannot do anything about the bullet that has my name on it. But I know that I can do one heck of a lot about that bullet that's addressed to whom it may concern.
Chuck Holton, CBN News, Tombstone, Arizona.
Turning overseas, a Muslim man has been sentenced to death for killing 6 Christians and a Muslim guard in Egypt last year. The verdict comes as Egyptian authorities try to calm religious tensions. That after the recent suicide bombing that killed 21 Christians outside a church. The 2 attacks took place almost exactly a year apart, striking worshippers at Christmas time. Tunisia has announced a new national unity government after the ouster of President Ben Ali. Governments across the Arab world are on edge today in the wake of his overthrow. That came after thousands of violent demonstrators mobbed the capital of Tunisia, forcing out Ali after 23 years. Protesters are angry over soaring unemployment rates and government corruption.
Israel monitoring the government collapse in Lebanon. The terrorist group Hezbollah orchestrated the collapse because they will likely be blamed for assassinating the country's former prime minister. This instability could lead to more violence. Julie Stahl has the story from Israel.
The Iranian-backed Hezbollah has tried to escape trouble in the past by shifting the focus to Israel.
And therefore, it exists as a potential they could do that by trying to heat up the border and turn the issue back into, or turn the attention back to a confrontation between Hezbollah and Israel, in which they can then pose as the resistance defenders of Lebanon.
But Middle East expert Jonathan Spire says the price could be too high to start a war now, even with the expected UN action.
It's a card that they have, but they'll think a long time before playing it.
Still, on his highly provocative visit to Lebanon in October, Iranian President Mahmoud Ahmadinejad traveled to a Hezbollah stronghold just 2 miles from the Israeli border. He told thousands of supporters the Zionists would not last long, should surrender, and go back to where they came from. The green tree line behind me is the Israel-Lebanon border. But on a recent visit to Lebanon, Ahmadinejad called it the Iranian border. It's been relatively quiet here for the last 4 years, but under the surface, Iran's proxy Hezbollah is preparing for war.
Over 150 Shiite villages and others in South Lebanon are being turned slowly, gradually but surely, into Hezbollah military camps.
In 2006, Hezbollah launched nearly 4,000 rockets at Israel. and the military response drove terror leader Hassan Nasrallah into hiding. But his absence hasn't stopped his followers from rebuilding the weapons stockpile by thousands of rockets and moving most of them toward the Israeli border. Israeli army spokeswoman Avital Leibowitz says their tactics have changed. They've gone underground.
They have inside warehouses, a very big number of warehouses filled with rockets, Katyusha, missiles of all sort of ranges.
Spire says the next war will likely be much worse for both sides.
What we can say is that the Islamic Republic of Iran, and therefore its client Hezbollah, it's not new to anybody to say, is right now on a collision course effectively with the State of Israel.
Just when a war between Israel and Hezbollah will happen is unclear. But as Spire says, in the Middle East, if war looks likely to happen, it usually does. Julie Stahl, CBN News, Israel's northern border.
Coming up, Australia's new Prime Minister says she doesn't believe in God. Now social issues like gay rights are topping her agenda. Find out how things turned upside down in the land down under.
In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth.
These are the greatest stories ever told. Presented by Academy Award winner Charlton Heston.
Thus saith the Lord of Israel, let my people go.
Join Charlton Heston as he travels the sacred lands of the Bible.
I'm going to take you with me on a journey exploring the stories in the Bible and the ancient land where they happened. This is said to be the very garden. This, the very rock where Jesus prayed for strength.
Now the Bible comes to life like never before. Time Life presents Charlton Heston's The Bible.
And Moses cast the tablets from his hands.
Praised by critics, this landmark TV series is now available on digitally remastered DVDs. You'll be inspired by the greatest stories from the Old and New Testaments, enhanced by historic works of art. Get Charlton Heston Presents the Bible on 4 DVDs for $49.99. Call with your credit card and save $10.
And Abraham stretched forth his hand and took the knife to slay his son.
And that's not all. You'll also get a free bonus DVD that takes you behind the scenes. And if you call in the next 10 minutes, we'll ship for free. That's an additional savings of nearly $7.
For thine is the kingdom and the power and the glory, forever and ever.
Call now to get Charlton Heston's The Bible on 5 DVDs for just $39.99. Call in the next 10 minutes and we'll ship for free.
Now therefore go, and I will be with thee.
Call 1-800-748-5167 to order Charlton Heston Presents the Bible for $39.99 and receive free shipping when you call in the next 10 minutes with your credit card.
Australia has been battling record flooding since before Christmas, but there's another battle also raging down under.
That's right, a cultural battle pitting Christians against Australia's atheist Prime Minister and her party. Gary Lane has the story from Sydney.
Australia's first atheist Prime Minister is having trouble keeping radical members of her coalition government in line. The Green Party's sole representative in Parliament is pushing to garner support for gay marriage. He also wants to pass federal laws legalizing euthanasia. Prime Minister Gillard wants to put off debate on those issues for at least another year so she can strengthen her weak coalition. She fears the opposition party, led by Tony Abbott, will use divisions over social issues to bring down her government.
Many Australian Christians certainly were disappointed that Tony Abbott and his opposition party were unable to form a government. Labor was, and they hold a one-seat advantage in the parliament. Yet Christians are optimistic that a more pro-family conservative agenda can move forward.
Concerned citizens put together the Canberra Declaration to guide elected leaders on the values important to them. Bill Muhlenberg is a political analyst and one of its authors. He says legislating the declaration's pro-family, pro-life agenda may prove difficult because of the Labor Green Party coalition.
The very antithesis, in fact, of what we were arguing for in the Canberra Declaration. Instead of pro-life, we have a government that's pushing a pro-death agenda. It's from womb to the tomb. It's under assault. We have a very cavalier view of human life, and we're really become a culture of death.
Muhlenberg and many others believe the Australian government has gone too far in limiting Christian rights. Pastor Danny Nalaya of Catch the Fire Ministries knows the Australian court system all too well. He fought a 5-year legal battle over charges that he vilified Muslims. Eventually, he was declared not guilty of inciting hatred against them. Nalaya suggests change will come to his country when more Christians fall to their knees. Australian Christians have also held prayer meetings in their Parliament building, and they've seen lives transformed throughout the country.
When we decided to do this prayer gathering on Mount Ainslie, the witches, the warlocks, and the Satanists got very upset because that's their capital. They didn't want us to come. They personally sent me messages saying, if you come, we'll attack you. But the Lord protected us. Ultimately, halfway through, these people were asking us, do you really love us? Because we stood our ground, but we loved them. And the great exciting news is 3 months later, the Satanist leader who came to attack me, I had the great opportunity of leading him to the Lord Jesus. And 4 months later, I was in his house in Canberra with my hands around his shoulder as brothers in Christ.
Bill Muhlenberg says Australian Christians need to be stirred to action. He draws attention to current issues on his blog site, Culture Watch.
It's really a means to equip the church primarily, inform them, alert them, encourage them to get out and make a difference. We just do things faithfully and let God bring in the results.
Gary Lane, CBN News, Sydney.
Up next, the woman who walked away from her career as an abortion provider and joined the pro-life opposition.
What makes the miracles of Jesus even more miraculous? Standing where they happened, in Israel. Come explore Jerusalem, where Jesus opened blind eyes. Visit the hills of Galilee, where Jesus fed the multitude. Stroll through Capernaum, where Jesus lived and taught and healed. To learn more about standing where it all happened in Israel, visit www.goisrael.com. Come visit Israel.
Endless pools are an incredible alternative to traditional pools, making it easy and inexpensive to swim at home. Call our toll-free number or visit our website. A free idea kit and DVD will be sent to your home so you can discover all the benefits of owning your own pool. Compared to traditional pools, endless pools are simple to install, easy to maintain, and economical to run. Our precision-engineered pools enable you to swim or exercise against a smooth current that adjusts to any speed and ability. Endless pools are perfect for year-round health and fitness, relaxation, and family fun. Our free idea kit and DVD will show you how easy it is for the whole family to enjoy a pool right in your backyard or home. An endless pool or an endless pool swim spa can become a showplace for your home. Call our toll-free number or visit the website to find out more about endless pools. The free idea kit will show you just how easy it is to be able to swim at home.
What makes the miracles of Jesus even more miraculous? Standing where they happened, in Israel. Come sail the Sea of Galilee, where Jesus calmed a raging storm. Experience Jerusalem, where Jesus restored a paralyzed man. Explore Capernaum, where Jesus spoke a centurion servant into health. To learn more about standing where it all happened in Israel, visit goisrael.com. Come visit Israel.
The number of abortions in America increased slightly last year after falling for nearly 2 decades. The recession may be a reason, since the number of abortions historically goes up when the economy is bad. That's partly because parents may worry about having enough money to raise children during tough times. There were over 1.2 million abortions in 2008. That is up slightly from 2005. The numbers varied sharply by state, with rates over 30% in Delaware, New York, and New Jersey, and at or below 6% in states with stricter abortion laws. Abortion has become one of the most common surgical procedures in America. Well, recently, CBN News spoke with Abby Johnson, author of a new book called Unplanned.
Johnson was once the director of a Planned Parenthood abortion clinic in Texas until a pivotal event at that clinic changed her life forever. Wendy Griffith spoke with her about that and asked whether she believes the economy is driving more women toward abortion.
I think so. I think it definitely does. I think that women feel like, how am I going to have enough money to raise this baby? The easier solution is just to terminate the pregnancy and pay that one-time fee, and then I don't have, the expense of raising a child later.
Now, you were a director at a Planned Parenthood in Texas for several years. You worked there for 8 years. What motivated you to get involved in the abortion industry in the first place?
I was raised pro-life, but I never really knew either side of the debate that well. And so when they started giving me their rhetoric, Planned Parenthood's rhetoric and the talking points, it just made sense to me because I'd never really thought about it either way. Yeah. And so I was kind of hooked in immediately.
Now, what did you see in September of 2009 that eventually made you walk away from the abortion industry?
I saw an ultrasound-guided abortion procedure, and I saw a 13-week-old baby recoil and flee from the ultrasound probe. And
why was that shocking to you?
It was shocking because I believed that the baby inside of the womb did not feel pain or have any sensory development until it was 28 weeks gestation, because that's what Planned Parenthood had told me.
And that's what you told other women, which came in for counseling.
Absolutely.
And so when you saw this little baby with the ultrasound, and that was very rare for them to use an ultrasound during an abortion procedure, why were they doing that?
We had a visiting physician in that day, and to my knowledge, we had never performed an ultrasound-guided abortion in our facility before, but he wanted to use it kind of as a teaching tool. And I thought, well, this should be a good learning experience, and I did definitely learn something from it.
And when you were watching this baby recoil from these instruments, what was going through your mind?
I was just thinking that I had been lied to, and I was thinking that I had lied to so many other women, and wondering, if I had told them the truth, would their choice have been different?
So what happened after that?
After that, I knew that I was going to have to make a change in my life, and I wasn't sure exactly what that was going to be or what that was going to look like, but I knew that it was going to involve me leaving Planned Parenthood. And so I reached out to a group called the Coalition for Life. They were involved with the 40 Days for Life outside of my facility, and asked them if they could help me. And
but they were surprised to see you because they knew you were working at Planned Parenthood.
Yes, they were very surprised to see me, but they embraced me and loved me and helped me, through my healing, and they were absolutely wonderful.
Well, how did Planned Parenthood react to you walking away?
Well, for 3 weeks, I had not told anybody except the Coalition for Life and my family about my decision to leave and why I had left. But when Planned Parenthood found out, they issued a temporary restraining order against me. And
for what? For being pro-life?
Pretty much. Yeah, pretty much. And,
Last time I checked, that's not illegal.
No, it's not. Okay. But according to them, I guess it is. And so they issued a restraining order against me, and they sent out a press release to the media. And I had not told anyone in the media what had happened. I had not shared my story with anyone publicly. But they shared it for me. And it went to the national news within about 12 hours.
Again, the book is called Unplanned. It's a riveting story of Abby's journey from abortion clinic director to pro-life activist. And she also talks about how her own 2 abortions affected her life and how God has healed and restored her. You can watch the entire interview at our website, cbnnews.com.
Coming up, she went from homeschooler to Miss America. Meet the 17-year-old from Nebraska who has become the youngest winner of the Miss America crown in 90 years.
millions of women worldwide love Bare Minerals.
This is smooth, it's nice, and it covers. I like that.
Only Bare Minerals looks like beautiful bare skin, while it covers whatever you want it to. And now you can get our latest kit with our totally new, totally spill-proof Click Lock Go foundation. For over 75% off retail, our new kit comes with Bare Minerals foundation in the shade that's just right for you. Warmth for a healthy glow. Mineral Veil, the ultimate finishing touch, and Bare Minerals Flawless Application Brush. Call now and get 3 full-size gifts worth $57.95 free. Purchased separately, you'd spend over $120. Our original Get Started kit was a great deal at 2 payments of $29.99. But now you can get all this for just 1 payment of $29.99. Save over $90 and get a 30-day money-back guarantee.
Call 1-800-376-4174. Ask how you can receive this handy compact. Call 1-800-376-4174 now.
It's impossible to close an open can with a pop top. Open cans spill in the fridge. What a mess. And open cans lose their fizz. What a waste. Introducing Bottle Top. It turns your can into a bottle with the snap of a cap. Open metal cans can't travel. What a waste. Bottle Top turns your can into a bottle that's perfectly portable. You can't do this with an open can. Bottle Top lets any soda keep its carbonation. Look, bugs are gross, but Bottle Top protects your drink from insects. When you're done drinking, just pop it off. Rinse under hot water and reuse. Bottle Top keeps drinks from spilling. Now get 6 colored bottle tops for just $10. Call now and get 6 more. Plus, we'll send you the can top popper. Just pay separate shipping and handling. You get 12 amazing bottle tops, plus the can top popper, all for just $10.
Call 1-800-377-9176. But hurry, call now. We're giving away a bonus 6 more bottle tops and the can top popper with today's orders. That's 1-800-377-9176. Call now.
She's a homeschooler with a Christian faith, and now she's Miss America.
17-year-old Miss Nebraska Teresa Scanlon won the crown this weekend. She says the $50,000 scholarship will help pay her tuition at Patrick Henry College and in law school. Scanlon says she hopes to become a judge and eventually a politician. A few days before she won, she told CBN that being in beauty pageants has strengthened her faith.
I've just realized over and over again, you see God's hand working and you see the perfect timing and you see his plan. And so for me, it's been so calming to know that everything is in his control.
Scanlon was homeschooled through the 10th grade and then went to public high school. She has 6 siblings and told CBN her parents encouraged her to enter pageants as a way to pay for her education. And
Good
looks
for
like
her.
it all worked out.
Yeah, wonderful to see her looking upward, acknowledging God like that.
Right.
That's great.
Right.
Well, that's all for this edition of CBN News Midday. You can find information on all the stories you've seen right here at cbnnews.com.
And you can also stay up to date with CBN News through Facebook and Twitter. We hope you'll join us next time. Have a great day.
I finally got to the point where there wasn't enough cocaine and there wasn't enough alcohol.
Welcome to the 700 Club.
They started discussing between the two of them a need to pray for this guy. Call on the name of the Lord. Come on, God, give me the buzz. I was joking around. I was daring God. They finished praying. And Ben says, the guy we were praying for didn't get the buzz he was looking for. My heart stopped. He spoke to me that night and he said, when you're serious, I'm going to scream out the name of Jesus and he'll save you. And I remember what Ben said, and I screamed out, Jesus, Jesus, help me, save me. The very second I did that. If you don't believe in miracles, then don't believe in me, because I am one. I felt the buzz.
We asked CBN.com users how we could make our website easier to use, and we listened.
This is really easy to read and move through.
The information opens up a whole lot quicker.
Yeah, it's much faster.
There's everything I'm interested in right here. The click of a mouse.
The new CBN.com has been redesigned, making it faster to find your favorite 700 Club stories, musical guests, our online community, and special features.
Anyone can enjoy this new site.
Visit the new CBN.com today.